and I would like to welcome you to the interview today with Trill Monster Clothing Brand. We're going to dive into the fascinating world of fashion, style, and creativity. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with the CEO, entrepreneur, visionary mind behind the incredible brand as he shares his journey, inspirations, and the story behind his unique clothing line. Get ready to be inspired and captivated by the passion and innovation that drives the Trill Monster brand. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Trill Monster.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Doing amazing.
Wonderful. Glad to have you. So today I just want to sit down, ask you a couple questions, related to the brand. Just some things I know that the people, your audience, your customers, your clients want to understand more about the brand.
Right.
So first off, can you tell me a little bit about the story behind the brand and what inspired its creation?
Um, it all started from, being in a dark place at the moment. I always wanted to start a clothing line. I always was into the arts, but I didn't know how to get in it. And, I get deep in that later on. But pretty much I was in a dark place and I realized, you can see the light in the dark. And sometimes, the dark actually helps you navigate, you know what I'm saying? And I realized you don't have to use the dark, for evilness. You can use it to actually achieve things and get things done and like put all your effort into things and not be weak. So because of my skin color, I know I have to be even more stronger and I have to fight more to get things what I want. So I feel like, that's why I call it Trill Monster. Trills for chill and, thrill. And monsters, being hungry for what you want in life.
I guess we can all appreciate that. I mean, my observation, Trill Monster brand is doing things that are taking the brand to a different level. So thank you for your contribution to the market. Also, what makes your brand a little bit more different from the other brands in the market? What's so unique about Trill Monster?
I think what's so unique about it that, people think it's like people think it's dark or whatever, but it's very intriguing. It's divine. It's very, divine. When I mean divine, it's pretty much separating you from being a follower. It's telling you to be a leader, and fight for what you want and spread love in the world. You know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna fight and you're going to sacrifice, I feel like you should be sacrificing that something that's gonna help the earth a better place. You can't help everybody, but you can do the best you can do while you're here. So, I feel like Trail Monster is a person that's fighting for things in life that what he wants. You know what I'm saying? And it's not taking no for an answer.
So, just to piggyback off that question, you sound like you've had some challenges with finding your way in the industry. What type of challenges have you faced, trying to create your brand, grow your brand, connect with the audience? Like, tell us a little bit more about that.
I feel like I was naturally always into social media. I feel like when I started running into real life problems, um, my focus was never there. I was too busy trying to survive. Yeah, like so, when I once I, ran away from home at 16 and, figured out I was just trying to just be something in the entertain, like something. But that's not how life go and that's not how life runs. So, I learned the hard way or I just learned the life period. I want to say the hard life. I just learned life period. And was just navigating through life, like just trying to find somewhere stable to live in New York City. So, I was hopping house to house, but I knew there was something that I was supposed to like do, but I just couldn't figure it out. But I just kept trying, and I finally found a job. And from when I found my job, I started really networking and partying and meeting all different type of people. And I started like seeing in New York City, everybody is so on like big brands or like brands that everybody's trending everywhere is wearing. But when I started coming in the game, I realized, people are not really being themselves when they're wearing fashion, or they're not really having that one piece in their closet that they know they can have for years and they can wear with everything and it's still valuable. You know what I'm saying? So it's that one staple piece. So, once I was working, I started working at Mercy Kitchen. And when I started working at Mercy Kitchen, that's when people started telling me like, "Oh, do you model? What do you do?" It's like was trying to get in anywhere I can fit in. Honestly, like still trying to figure myself out. And once I started working there, figuring myself out, and seeing what I was really like capable of doing, that's when I started realizing I want to make a fashion brand. I really don't want to work for people because I feel like it's kind of hard for me to work with people if I'm not being creative for people. And that's when I knew I wanted to make my own brand. And
So let me interrupt you, and my apologies for interrupting you. You shared that you have challenges working with people, and you've always dreamed that you wanted to start a brand. Like, what was the pivoting moment, in your career doing, your day to day job that it influenced you, or let's say motivated you, to let you know that it was time for you to change gears and get into really putting your passion into creating Trill Monster, let's say.
it was the environment. The environment I couldn't. It's just like I'm just naturally creative, which I'm learning about myself. Sometimes I have to stop fighting myself. I have to learn to stop fighting myself and stop listening to people and thinking you have to do things this way and do things that way and do things in order to get this done. And I just stopped being in my head and was just like, okay, people don't get me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not pretty much a person that people can't easily read, so it's kind of hard for people to like deal with me if they don't get it or they just not really just not a nice person. Like if you just in a workplace just trying to do what you got to do and not worry about yourself, and it's just like I feel like I always work in an environment where I get along with everybody. So I feel like once I work with everybody and I get along with everybody, and people I always talk about my clothing brand. People's like, "Oh, I'll work for you." That's why I figured I was like, you know what? I'm out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no shade. Like, I'm like, I can't deal with this shit no more. Like, it's just not me. It's not for me. Like, I'm like meant to create and like help people and, just live life.
I can respect that. So it seems like, based on what I'm hearing, getting that feedback from the people that you work with and people that you connected with, at that point in your life, it motivated you to take faith, or let's say move with faith, and start this brand Trill. Beautiful.
It's a lot. Like, I feel like, we don't really have a lot of mentor like we was talking about earlier. Like, so, sometimes people dive in the wrong direction, thinking people are going to help them out, and you know, you get caught up and get in a loop. And sometimes I realize some people don't know how to get out the loop, and it's okay to go through and accept what you go through and keep trying. I feel like sometimes we watch too much society and I feel like sometimes you just gotta. It sucks to say how delusional it sounds, but sometimes you have to be in your own bubble. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it could be a crime across the street, but you gotta understand. You gotta keep that shit pushing and just keep having faith and keep going. Because at the end of the day, like it's like you can't stop yourself, and sometimes it's just like you don't want to be in that depressed mindset. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you have a goal, it keeps you going in life. And, you know, I learned to say, fuck everything. Like, I'm going to get this shit done. I'm going to have a successful clothing brand,
No doubt, no doubt. So definitely can appreciate, that encouragement, and keeping the faith and staying focused.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm hearing you say here, and it's not an easy industry, and it definitely takes a lot of grit, and determination and drive. And it looks like it's paying off for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations with, your most recent, accomplishment, launching your website, with your first product.
Right.
Beautiful thing. So tell me, how was that experience for you, actually preparing to come to market, and releasing your first product?
It all started. I was doing styling. I style hood celebrity. I style Tory Banks. I style what's her name? Flo Millie. I style a couple girls in the game. Like so, learning that I wanted to like understand. Like I was like, ooh,
So let me ask you this. So having those experiences styling them, did that provide you with some type of creative direction with
cause
preparing
yeah,
to
cause I
release the
was just
brand?
like when I started learning where you have to pull, and sometimes you can't find certain things
Mm-hmm.
when you're looking to address a client.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's difficult. And I was just like, oh, do I want to style people and like deal with other orders or like have something for myself and not depend on people to give me a check and I depend on myself to give me a check? That's when that really came in demand. I was like, you know what? I got some clothes from Ross. I was in downtown LA and I looked up an embroidery guy that do embroidery, and I hit him up. I bought some t-shirts. I bought some button-ups. Just basic stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, honestly, I'm just like the way I move. I just like to move in action, and then the breakdown. I'll understand why to do it this way and why I should start doing the way I've been doing it. So from there, I got that, and I got some hoodies and from Alley over there in the corner. Put my logo on. Oh, I was in a club partying, and I put on this girl. She came out the club. I was like, oh, she look mad. I was like, you look mad nice. She was like, oh, you too. She was like, where you from? I'm from New York. She was like, oh, cool. I was like, what you do? She was like, oh, I do graphic design. I was like, oh, I'm looking for somebody to help me do my logo. So she was like, oh, I got you. Boom. She made my logo, and off the back, her just being nice, she charged me $50.
So let me ask you. So at this time when you ran into her, were you already in the process
I
of
was just in that process of like
brainstorming?
brainstorming and like trying to just get things like in motion.
Okay. So you already had your product that you purchased from Ross. You didn't have a logo.
No, I didn't have a logo.
And so that was your opportunity
Yeah.
there to connect with someone and create your
Yep.
brand that we see today.
Yep.
Okay. And so, like, from there, like, what did that look like? You got your, graphic designer. She's created you a logo, or let's say, you're thinking through your ideas.
So yeah, I sent her some ideas. I was like, I want something like triangle, very like divine, and like like yeah. That's why I pretty much say triangle, divine, and very just like weird and like out the box.
So Trill Monster was a part of all of that
Yeah.
conversation. It was known that this was going to be a Trill Monster
Yeah.
logo.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Mm. And then after that, I went to go get it done, and like it went crazy. Like it went crazy. Like
So
everybody was just amazed by just the logo and the colors, and just like the meaning behind it.
So what does that look like? So you met the graphic designer. She created a logo for you.
Mm.
You took that logo to someone else to put the logo onto your products.
No, I took it to an embroidery guy to put
Okay.
it on my products because I wanted to do embroidery. So like when I was young, I'm from upstate Poughkeepsie. So when I was young, I used to love Hollister and Urban Conflict. Like I don't know, there's something about the stitching and like the quality of it that I liked. There was just something about it I liked. So I always felt like I always wanted to do embroidery, but I wanted to do it in my way, very more elevated, you know.
Well, I'll definitely tell you, I love your embroidery on your sweater. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's say now you've connected with the embroiderer and he has um, put this logo on your products. Like, what kind of products did you first come to market with?
I just went to like Cynthia Alley, and I went on Google. Google is your best friend, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And shit, sometimes just you just gotta do it. Went to Google. I walked over to them factories. I got them little Toto bags
Mhm.
and little sweaters. I
There's some
got
tote bags and sweaters.
some
Okay.
sweaters, and then that's when I couldn't find really nothing I really want, and that's why I went to Ross.
Okay.
And
So
then
Ross actually had product for you to start your brand.
the Ross part was like the custom pieces, pretty
Okay.
much.
God is good for Ross and being
You know
custom.
what I'm saying? Cause they had blank Dicky button ups, and they had like mad blank stuff.
Yeah.
So it
Well,
was like kind of there was stuff I can like fuck with. And,
yeah. Dickies is a vibe, and it's definitely given LA,
yeah,
you know.
so it was the culture out there.
Yeah,
So
for sure. I can see that.
yeah.
So how was the market out there with your product? I mean, were you focused on connecting to the people out in LA or were you just working
You
on
know,
trying to
honestly,
expand?
that was the problem too. Like, I was just like, when I really started getting into the brand, I was like, really like, oh shit, I didn't realize this is kind of like a spring, summer line I got going on right now. But it's like, I really want to elevate it to like some like all seasons. And, you know, that's what that came from. You
So
know,
with your initial products, you had a variation of different seasons with what you had available for the
yeah, I
market.
pretty much had like the sweaters and the button ups.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you said something about tote bags as well.
Oh, and the tote bags and
Okay.
the
So
sweaters and like the like basics, like basic stuff, but it wasn't basic. Like flannels.
nice.
Yeah,
See, flannels is a thing for you because I see
yeah,
you also have this beautiful flannel jacket on. It looks
yeah.
like that's
You know the
a
vibes.
Trill Monster.
Yeah, let me show you how this is coming out soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This is the vibes.
yeah, that's nice, bro. And the logo itself is popping too, bro. I never would have thought that, just looking at that initially, that those threads that you got on there for the logo would work for the color, just from coordinating, but it's fire.
Like,
You did your thing.
and then I got my T-shirt coming out. My own, like it's not a regular wholesale shirt.
But hold on one second before we even get to that point. I just still want to understand this brand, and bringing it to where it is today. And so I know you've created, products. Like I said, you were out in LA. You were trying to figure out a market in LA. Like, were you having or being connected to like pop-up shops? Like, how were you connecting to, your clients? You know, what was your reach? Like, what were you marketing doing? Instagram? What were you doing? Facebook?
I
Like,
just honestly feel like I always had been that person that all types of race, all types of people, fat, skinny, whatever society wants to call you, whatever. I don't, I don't judge, but just statistically, like never have a problem. Like all type of people like what I wear, so I've always felt like okay, demographically, whatever I put out, that I know consciously, you know, most of the people are going to like. You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
that's when knew like okay, let me start something.
My question is, how were you connecting to these people? Like, how did they know about Trill Monster? Like, were you on it? Did you have an Instagram presence? Were you on social media? Was this a word of mouth thing?
No, I was on social media. I was always going out. I was always partying that too, and I'm always connecting to people. So
Networking.
yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
all about
definitely extremely important.
yeah, it's
Okay.
all about talking to
Yeah, no, I want to learn, and I know a lot of people, that may be trying to come into the industry may also be um, what's the word I want to use? Curious, because it's difficult now to kind of figure out what your mainstream is with marketing. You have social media, which social media gives you a lot, but I think not everyone also consider other avenues to market. And it sounds like you took another creative approach to, you know, getting your brand awareness out there.
Mm.
And so, that's great that you networked, went out social activities outside of social media, to connect your brand to your market. So kudos on that. So you've created that market out there in LA, where you connect to the people. And I know you're now here in New York City. Like, how did you, move your brand from California to New York, coast to coast? And, moving that brand from California to New York, did you just come back to New York City and did you start, word of mouth networking, partying, connecting to people in the industry scene? Like, what did that look like putting the brand here in New York City? It's known in LA, and now you're here in the city and you also need to create your market here.
Pretty much I had my spouse. I think I got to a point where, when I said if I was going back to New York, I'm taking everything seriously and I'm gonna do things the correct way. I'm not gonna do things halfway. I feel like it's okay to do things halfway because you're still learning and you don't want to spend too much money on things that you don't even know if you want. So it's just like I'm just like, all right, do things right way. I'm not my spouse, and sometimes you gotta be real direct who you want to be with and how you want to move and how you want to do business. And I felt like the person was the right person that that can get me where I need to be, and I can learn, and they can learn something from me because we both want to pretty much do the same thing, but in different ways. And
Elevation.
I'm more on action, 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 and that's my part or helping my part in it is being more on top of action. And he helps me understand the process of the paperwork, so it just works out. But other than that, that's
So you got the brand here.
from there, I was just like, it's lit. Like I'm about to do things correctly, and I'll just start doing things correctly. And
So let me ask you this because you're saying, okay, you did things in LA, which sound like to me could have been a correct way. You just
mhm.
didn't,
No,
you know.
what I mean was I was at a time in my life where when I was getting steady, like in New York, because COVID, I was going back and forth.
Mhm.
During, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do things the right way because I don't want nobody to take my name. I don't want, I want nobody to take my name. So I was like, let me hurry up and get on top of things because things are actually working out with the brand. So that's what made me really like, okay, it's time to get things popping and really put motion in it.
So you started actually, sounds like researching and just, I
Yeah, I
guess,
started, buying T-shirts and just playing with it. Just YouTube University over here, baby. Nah, but I just start playing with it and like understanding the craft of like what's going on and navigating how to do things easier and not to work too harder.
yeah.
What works good for me, what's not working for me. Like that's another thing. Like I'm glad I start from scratch because I got to really dive in like what's gonna work for me and what's not gonna work for me. And I really was just into like directing projects. So understanding like I have an avenue where it can work for me. I
Mhm.
was just like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this shit till I fucking get it, and to it to the point where it's at the peak. You know?
Consistency is definitely extremely important,
Yeah.
and it looks like it is rewarding as well. So, you were in the lab, you were practicing with different materials, different notions, to come up with,
Hmm.
sounds like more custom things or
Hmm.
just really figuring out like where Trill Monster was going or what direction you wanted to take Trill Monster in.
Right.
And
Because it's kind of it's a deep thing. Like it's it comes from a place like you know just because you come from you did some dark shit and you was in a dark place. There is a light. You know what I'm saying? Because you can learn so much and teach people not to do certain things or maybe just guide them in a way where it make life a little bit more easier for them. Because I feel like I call it I already swim through the dark of the shadows. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of these shadows. It ain't for me, baby. And I was like, nah. Like I could really teach some people some things out here, and I feel like
mm,
I'm really good at healing people
so,
and like comforting people, making them know it's gonna be okay, and just believe it, and focus on yourself and love yourself, and I feel like when I do that, it helps me continue being on my shit.
okay. Interesting. So, like, being this healer, being this person that's extremely encouraging to others, like, how are you also um, bringing that energy to your clothes? Like, how is that reflecting?
Motivation, like if you feel depressed, if you feel like you don't want to do things no more, you need a drive, you need motivation, you need drive or something, you need something just to show you, like you that person. But right now you're just going through something, but you're gonna be on top of it, and it's okay to take a little break or evaluate what's going on right now, so you can get out of that funk, and that's what like Trill Monsters is about. Like, get out of that funk and keep going. Like, there ain't no stopping. Like, let's go. Like, you know what
No
I'm saying?
doubt. And I mean, I think that's a place, a lot of people are, in life today. It is a struggle for people right now with
Oh
mental
yeah,
health.
mental health is a real of a hell of a thing, and people need to like really. If you don't believe in psychology or whatever, you still need to read up on things and check yourself. Like you need to. It doesn't take It takes 5 minutes to like literally just look up a word and see why am I feeling this way. What is these triggers like? And you know what I'm saying? It's because people don't understand where sometimes you just want to do things yourself. So like sometimes it's okay to do research and like learn yourself. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what you have to accept is learn yourself, not be scared of like how you do things or did you just do things that way? Like, oh well, improve it, do it better. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm learning. Like, you have to just, improve it. Like like I really don't want to get into politics, but yeah.
What works for you might not always work for everybody else,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I guess the
Exactly.
one
And
thing
that's the
is
whole point.
keep yourself uplifted. Find something that motivates you, something that makes you happy,
Right.
and that's extremely important in life because there are a lot of uh, bad things that are going on. And, I can understand it. So moving on to Trill Monster and where you are today with the brand. Like I said, Trill Monster now has a presence online. You just recently launched. Uh, your website looks amazing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, we killed that.
And I see you have a couple different options available for your sweater. Uh, what does that look like for you? I see where it is today. Like how are things coming along with Trill
I feel
Monster?
more confident. I feel more confident about my brand. I wasn't too sure. But I feel more confident about my brand. What makes it more easier for me to work and be more creative. So like I'm happy I've done got comfortable with that part of where I'm at in my career. But it's looking great. I feel like I'm learning to just be comfortable with my art. Oh yeah, check out my song Misunderstood. Yeah, it's out right now. I just put it out. Um, yeah, it's one of my best pieces I put out. I'm taking writing very seriously right now, and like I realize music is such therapy for me. It's like a release of getting a lot of things out. So yeah, check out Misunderstood. It's definitely a single you want to listen to when you're like going through a little weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta you know,
Shake it up a little bit.
shake it up a little bit and, you know, talk your shit and, like, you know.
Release that stress. You know, that's the only thing that's gonna keep you in good health, keep it moving. You know, appreciate that. So, you know, just getting your brand to where it is. You know, you've gone through a lot of different experiences, and what do you feel like was one of the most impactful experiences that you've had that you've carried through with continuing to move your brand forward? And let me just paraphrase that a little bit better for you. What significant thing along the way of creating your brand has resonated with you and you continue to keep it at the top of your mind while you continue to move your brand forward?
I think when I was working for Tyra Banks, I was like, oh shit.
What about that experience with Tyra Banks? You know, you keep with you today that helps you, you know, continue to like put it into action when you're working through your brand. Was it something Tyra Banks said? Was it just the work that you did for Tyra Banks, and it was something that, you know, was an aha moment for you while you were, you know, working with Tyra Banks?
It was just like the spirits.
Okay.
You know, just seeing the whole production, like seeing the whole the behind the scenes, like the whole everything. It was just like Ashley getting to see the ABC room, seeing history from like Disney Channel, from like seeing like the old costumes and everything like that. It was just like, it was very, very like, it was just like magical because you like seeing your childhood and you get to like see like, oh wow, and stuff like that. So it's just like, I felt like I was
just anybody though. So you know, you actually working with Tyra Banks,
and that was the thing though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that was like my first time actually getting to see a lot of shit. So it was just like, from there I was just like, it's possible.
Yeah, for sure. Tyra Banks would look good with some Daisy Dukes. See that's shit. Tyra Banks is an icon. So you know, to have that opportunity, you know, I can see how it was influencing to you, and it continues to be a motivation to have had that opportunity. You know what you're fully capable of achieving it with this brand. You know, and it seems like things are actually moving in that direction for you. And you know, I definitely want to continue to support, you know, any way possible. You know, having these opportunities to sit in front of the camera and, you know, address, you know, your people out here in the street, you know, just to let them know what's going on with Trill Monster, you know. And so just one last thing to close out, you know, our interview session, like, give us something unique about Trill Monster. Like, who is Trill Monster? Like, something that we don't know that you haven't shared with us. Like, who is Trill Monster? What is Trill Monster? You know, it's just me putting a whole bunch of whatever out there. But for you, like, what do you feel like it's important for you to share with people about who you are?
I'm a boy from upstate New York. My mom and dad is Jamaican, so, you know, I'm first American. So, you know, so I've seen a lot. So I feel like I'm a person that just always just wanted happiness and peace because of like a trauma childhood I had. And I feel like the message was from, instead of me seeking revenge and just doing fuckery and doing dumb things out here, I feel like I wanted to be the person to show people that, you know, go through dark times, that there is light times, and you could, you know, change from any environment you want to and just be peaceful. And I just want to, you know, that's just me. Like, I'm chill. I'm very a person that likes to see people happy and like to be in a happy environment. And, you know, that's where, you know,
you create happy clothes.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, you know, and it sounds like, you know, you're a great person and, you know, you're bringing that through in your
I like to
brand.
tell people they can do anything they put their mind to.
Yeah.
You know, it's possible. You know, I like to keep the belief going. You know.
No, you definitely keep it real. You know, personally knowing you, you know, you are very encouraging, uplifting, and you're consistent. You know, and I definitely appreciate, you know, you for going hard on your brand. You know, and not losing faith. You know, keep pushing through the challenging times, and you know, getting what you want.
Yeah.
You know, and ultimately you are a reflection of what this brand is, because that is how you move day to day. So, Trill Monster, thank you for sitting down with me today to share a little bit about yourself, about your journey in creating a brand, and what to look forward to next with the brand. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. Yes, it was dope.
Apologize I couldn't smoke with you.
Next time.
Next time. Thank you for joining Otis Clark.
Yeah, shout out to my bro for recording this for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see good shit, man. Have good people around you, good things will happen.
Amen to that.
Yeah. It's true.